Founder of BirthParentFinder.com, Jay Rosenzweig, joining us today. Jay, always great having you in studio.
What did you think when you got that phone call?
I started crying and I was really ecstatic because I had prayed that he would try to find us. I had prayed for a long time that he would try to find us because I couldn't find him.
Did you ever think this day would come?
No, I didn't.
And now it's here. And is it surreal to you?
It is. I still find it a little bit hard to believe.
And you don't have any brothers, do you?
I don't. I have two sisters.
And Dawn, now you have a brother.
I do.
So, Sharon, why was she given up for adoption in the first place? Because her mother didn't want to be a single parent?
It's a crazy story. She wanted Sharon to have a really good life.
Okay.
And if she told the birth father that she was having the kid, he would want her right away. He would want to raise her. This is the sad part. Sharon told me that her birth father was told that she lost the child at childbirth.
Oh, wow.
Stillborn.
Wow.
So just imagine how emotional this guy was.
Yeah.
And he told me, I now have a daughter that fell from heaven.
Wow. So this whole time, didn't know he had a daughter.
He had no idea.
Let's talk about the effort to find her mother. So she abandoned him at 6, and then younger for her siblings. How many years passed now before you were able to connect her, or since she's been able to see him?
So she's been looking vigorously, basically, for her mother since she was 18.
Wow.
Roadblocks everywhere, unable to access records. So she finally figured out if her mother's living on the streets, if she's in trouble, maybe there's some court records. So she was able to find the name with the date of birth and match it.
And this is what we're seeing right here is a reunion.
That's her meeting her mother. This was in May.
How'd you make this happen?
I found through one of my databases, I found her name matching the date of birth with an address. The address was one of the social services offices. Called them and they said, yes, she's in our system, but we can't give you any information because of HIPAA laws. So Lakita wound up calling them and they gave her some information. They said they would try to get a hold of her mother. Well, that didn't happen right away. So in my database, I had a phone number that I kept calling and calling and calling. Nobody answered. And then finally, this woman answered the line and she says, hi, I'm Ann. He goes, you found Lakita? So she knew that her daughter was out there, but she didn't know she was looking for her.
Wow. Why'd she contact you? And also, why find the father?
Okay, so we met at an event that I sponsored back in September in Chicago. They were showing her film. I was one of the sponsors of the event. I went to the event, and that's where we met. We hit it off. She learned more about me and my company and what I do. And there were a lot of people that wanted to help her reach out to her father. And she, fortunately and thankfully, chose me.
Yeah, and how were you able, and I'm still going to come back to you, so Autumn, hold your horses, even though I can't wait to hear your answer, but how were you able to find her dad?
Well, first of all, she knew his name, and she knew she had a brother, and the crazy part was that her brother took an ancestry DNA test several years ago, but I don't think he realized that Autumn was listed as possibly a half-sister. So what I usually do is
was she? She was on a list?
Yeah, she took an ancestry test also.
He just didn't follow the list. Okay.
He didn't figure it out. We think he didn't. We didn't know. We didn't know. Just didn't reach out to her. Did he not know? So what I do when I take those cases is the first person I reached out to, not the birth father, because the son took a test for a reason.
Right.
I wanted to find out what that reason was. So I reached out to the son via a message, a text message. He didn't respond. Then I get a phone call from the father saying, hey, I never told my son that I have another child.
Ooh.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. He was taken back at first, but he quickly realized that it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good, and there was no animosity from her. She wanted to reach out to him. She wanted to say hello, be part of his life, and no hard feelings whatsoever. And I know he appreciated that very much. Basically trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
He liked the way I spoke to him professionally, and he knew after speaking with me it wasn't a scam, and he had to think to himself, do I remember this woman? So he got back to me a couple of days later and he goes, did this woman live in this certain area of Colorado at that time? I said, yes. He goes, now I remember her.
Oh, wow. Jay, you have a special presentation.
I do. Mike apologizes because he couldn't be here today, and he would love to present you with these roses, Leslie.
You deserve that.